Welcome to the story, everybody. And Bob and Mix and Nicola. Yo. Playing the beginner's guide. Alright. I have no idea what is in this game. But it was Bob's recommendation. I'm doing good. I'm a little eepy, and I'm gonna have to get up super early in the morning, but I'll manage. Make sure we have captions. We'll turn down the audio just a wee tiny bit. Make sure audio is on. It is. Yes, left click and WASD.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff.
Hold on.
Found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them.
Okay, good, pause this dialogue. I think anyone who creative should play this. Does creative stuff should play this? That's cool.
He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together. is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Pretty old school. No.
Whisper machine active. Shift to structure imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Well, I didn't need that ammo. I'm out.
Security call reached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
But I don't have ammo.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Ah, enemy force was neutralized. Onward.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Ah,
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it.
Of course it does.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
I'd do it.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
For the Issachar.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh, okay. Brilliant! Huh? Oh.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind. Yup, in this game you can only walk backwards.
It's an interesting way to go about it.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Oh, it's so weird the future is always behind her. How will she find the string? Confront it. Oh, door's gone.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
And now it's a spooky game. I'm not ready. Now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Are these source games? I don't think Unity was around.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What the? We go. Don't slow back down. What's up here? Wow!
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Oh, yeah.
Coda would often tell me that he
body,
didn't
so
mind
we're
if people thought of him
considering
as cold or
I want to move
distant.
for you guys. Go.
He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
It's a series of mic for 15 seconds. Keep waiting. Fish?
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
Huh?
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Huh? There's a thousand.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Dot.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, A dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
What about here? You gonna say something different? You're not exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. The great and lovely descent. 이런.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Yes.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Source,
Like all
I guessed
engines,
it.
Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Whoa! 아가? Yeah, super dirty. What's that down there? What is it? No! Oh, it just pushes us here. Hannah. Huh? This person would be brilliant at designing the backgrounds. Oh, okay. Oh,
This
okay.
prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you in.
That's so mean.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always
Donna, can I say you are the most gross beef stealing mud sleeve scandal? My money is not talking. Not taking my last name. What? Your last name is the Jester. Or perhaps your middle name is Though and your last name is Jester, but it's too goofy for my taste, I'm sorry.
Defend that, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Go out. Huh? What's non-linear? It's cool though.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Music is a tad loud, but I don't think you can actually... Yeah, it's non-configurable, okay? What do we have here? Well...
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
With a whiteness... There's a nice Banausen... Wooden-colored blocks. Plus 3. For the bug, you did that. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2.ex? Nothing you want more. Oh, you don't track me. That. You'll want to know how to solve it. Find the one place between doors so you find more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Odd. Yeah, don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I think it wasn't until you mentioned the music volume in the stall that it started getting to me. It's like it's just slightly too loud. And I can't configure it, so we just have to deal. April 2009. Connecting to the internet. Walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. It's like Super Mario, whatever, Mario Maker. It's so nice. Look at the textures. It's deep.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing.
Said yuck.
I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's
Is that the
games
term
so
you're
much.
looking for,
It's
Alicia?
because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Need to go to the bathroom. Pretty Shad Win! Come on. Yeah, open door. Look, Donna, what you playing? I'm playing the Beginner's Guide. A game made by the author of the Stanley Parable. Sean? Oh, no, there. Not very crowded. You can't go in here, I think? Don't bother. Bring it off. We resorted misery. And now... It's not safe. What note would you lay? I don't know. Probably something obscure about a favorite food. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. We're all, yeah. This terrible secret. Happy the game, yeah!
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works,
Hayo.
and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on
He goes to it, bro. He can see the answer to the
and
puzzle.
let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture. Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
What? Once I started. Okay. We have no clue.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Where the furniture is gone. Gotta go in the center of the room. Refrigerator. What? Along the wall. Turnstiles. That's not right. Should light up this room a bit. Anti-12 process the electronic settings of the LED lighting. Skylight. Tesla gold. Nah, let's do skylight. Where do the lamp? A table. I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making a difference. What?
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Is work fluid? To escape any prison environment, following service carefully. Take care you remember each step. Check on the table. Go to the photo frame, click to turn slightly. And the floor lamp in the room off to turn it back on. I go to the left side sofa and move it a little bit. Touch the shelves. Hello, prison. The escape will now open. Return to the start and be taken back to your prison. Something about this is peeling back to infinite. Furniture scratches and itches in my brain. Remember this game being kind of annoying sometimes. Son, you're probably gonna play it. Do I go to real prison now? You were lying? Return to the start? Oh, actually return to the start, okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Let's go.
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created, and the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
You Portal? It's a source game, but it's actually the beginner's guide. It is very dark. Oh, it's the lamp. That means that the level's up. Ooh, let's go inside. Hello? Who is this? Is it? And you from after you escaped the prison?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Reminds me of FlaVR, almost early 2000s. This is, I think we're at 2009 right now. On Source. So it's pretty darn old. You just need to be patient. Sure. First person to call back? Yeah, okay. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? And they just talked. Yeah. You don't make sense.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay.
Are we doing puzzle or discussing philosophical state of human existential crisis both?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Big sip of water.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Ooh, we're in the snowy mountains.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Hello! You spilled your goop. Oh, playing? Yeah, you said your room. Looks like you might have it. Yeah, it's built in the same engine. This entire house by myself. I've been through that with me, and everybody knows the roads on my hands.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Kitty table. Into the bedroom and make it a bed. Yes. Making the bed. Seen the rug a bit. Okay, I see it. Well, it really does matter. They're doing his job. Put me on. Give you different questions, I've never felt so good doing something for money my whole life. You did like in my own home. I got some demons that ain't right your face yet. Speak of demons, don't put this couch on the ass. You gonna find out deep doors here? Yeah, I'll get. Dude, someone spilled a drink by a couch. Mop it up. Just like that. I just shared incredibly cheesy personal inside you, okay? And you're especially cheesy. No? I hate when people do that. Speak. Big. Your dishes. Oh, this thing is over now. I need to clean it. Ugh, that's the worst part. Scrub it down. Perfect. Get on the floor of the bedroom. Where? Oh, that. Wait a minute.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
One's house. It's like a lot. Ugh, get it. Brain dead. I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is not like one's soul. Take care of it, it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. Bit of truth in it, no? You doing, Uncle Cleaning? Wouldn't make it. I mean, just, I just said, well... What a full version of this part of the game was made. Yeah, this is a cleaning sim of going around in circles and having a talk. Housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Back in the books. Probably intentionally using things in other rooms so that we don't see a movie set.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question?
But, of course,
enjoy
it can't last.
What?
The music
Hey!
stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well.
Gosh,
Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Oh, now I'm scared of dying. What? There's no walls on the house. Everyone like Dexter's. Taking me away from my peace.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
What kind of buff up to it?
This
And
one
the
gets
numbers
a
on the
bit
brighter.
goofy.
Come here today. Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. Workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. You want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so
About halfway
easy.
through the game, the perspective shifts. And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society, fishing up all her dreams. Yeah. Alright, achieve it with no effort. Let me tell you right now, this is effortless. And it's not the right answer. You're judging yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? There's no truth. There's no path. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Do what is true. Nothing, no.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
My favorite part with the black hole devouring the universe and the screens.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
And you'll be playing as me? At a gathering of professionals, first you'll start. Leaning out, it's this wall, the way. But stay right there. Move across the room, and this chair is a professional photographer of animals. As you dreamed of her to photograph animals professionally, this is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, and say something. Now, where's the bathroom? What are you doing? You're deflecting, you're not saying what's actually on your mind. Stop dancing around and have a conversation with this person. Do it again. And I'm super scared right now. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was a you, but I knew what I wanted, I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. You said you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us, so I'll give you some props to work with. These congs bounce if you touch them, represent people nearby. You like jazz? I talked to her again. Must have worked really hard to get where you are. What? I'll figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Yeah, I realize this is for me. I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was writing on this. I'll have to try something. Sounds actually making you bounce. Stop scaring me. What do I do now? We just keep going? Oh. Yeah, this is really
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps...
Did you change my name? Yes, I am Donna Darkstar. Re-debut is next month. I'll... The 19th at 11 PT. Yeah.
backing away from possible connections to anyone other than
I just
himself.
don't have anxiety.
To
I
be
just
honest,
stop
I
having
didn't
anxiety.
consider
Just
it very
don't.
healthy
Just never.
when I first played
Say
this.
no to cancer.
You know, it
can't
looked
legally
to me
kill
like
you.
he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Getting burnout? Was he increasing his effort? Will be a strict to play this game properly. You must keep your eyes closed to begin the game. What's going on? Help, I'm blind! Enormous just appeared on the radar. Then my vision suddenly went black. Yes. Yeah! It's the door! No! What? You've been blind!
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Is that? Prepare to serve this. Ah, this way! Yeah, too. Bennett.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
You? This one? Where does island come from? Oh, stop it, I hate that. The person who loves me is a long time, so I know who's speaking. Oh, is it you, Trey? What's wrong? You look lost. Well, I happen to be. Ooh, I took a bit of a limp. Really? Oh no! Happened to something change. There was a machine that kept me going, and it stopped trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Looking for a machine, I know where it is. Isn't far. Need to see it to know why it's stuck.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes, players. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Door.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Please try it. Looking at speedruns for this game, I've yet to find a non-beginner's guide to speedrun, honey. You see, if this work is fun as easy, if the game development is simple, joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Why did the walls crumble? Not to worry about it. Saying that it was easy. I'm constantly excited, enthusiastic about my work.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
The machine. Oh, 여보세요? Ma'am, where did you arrive safely? We've captured the machines waiting for you. In the interrogation whenever you like. I intend him to be blue. Very good. Just warned someone called the press. We might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Okay.
And of course, it's the machine.
People out there, you imagine the pain you put them through. Because of your creations, it could make us very gay. So you just no, we're long past the cleaning section, but I think the maid outfit would truly help your viewers to process the law. Oh my god. Some people.
Nest. Nest. There we go. There we go. Are you happy now? You've dug me out of my grave for this. But apologize to them all. It is Astrid's voice, you are so right. I was wondering why it...
Get the puppies up. Get the puppies up. Just up. Just up. entirely Bomb's fault. It was entirely Bomb's fault. I don't turn off the echo. It's truly an unavoidable accident. You. You're so silly. But then apologize. Definitely, I know how to hurt you. Alright then, I will speak to them for you. Open the door. Hello? Rest of the world? I am an announcement. My friends. You're forcing me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. They were against the machine. It's not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy it. Follow me, we will destroy everything the machine has created. Ooh. I don't like either of those solutions. Oh, we're back. Machine? Are you here? A gun? Violence is never the answer.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Ocean. No, destructive wall physics is actually sick. Sure, you are known forever. Isn't that what you expose? Scared exposed the world you seen in clarity.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning
This is never the attractive. Sorry, I forgot what I was wearing. Sorry, missed you. Violence is always the answer.
back into his work?
Oh, when someone takes that off her old post.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Was he afraid of not being accepted, or was he just generally struggling? I can't!
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with the things that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy, so beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
You're
Except
kidding.
that all the walls of the maze are invisible.
Have a lots of
And then
warning.
every
We just
time
barely
you touch
got
one
it.
of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Ugh.
But I do want to show you the rest of the level, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze. And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever.
Well, that would be lovely.
I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
I'm not liking where this is going.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning
pretty
that it's
hostile, doesn't it?
literally
Yeah.
impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Am I ready? I don't know.
But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
This can be a hard pill to swallow.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
You, Davy. Thank you for your interest in my games. I ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Only at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You're so infected.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere in between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my game, stop adding lampposts to them? Would you...
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than me. Realize it doesn't make any sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Wow.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
This did not go in the direction I thought it was going to go.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
All the way back to the machine. And then weird death ray thing. Does it kill you or do you ascend? You ascend. Oh, this is darkness. Oh. Isn't that lovely? It's really a different feeling game. Yeah.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. It was quite an emotional journey. It's like it's hard, doesn't it? Yeah. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I know I've been in that situation. I wonder if they ever made up. I mean, the game had me break down at a sensitive point in life, especially with the external validation speech. See what I meant at the start? Yeah. It's a beautiful game. And I think it portrays what it wants to get across very well. I hope I hope that it's satire, whatever you call it, cause like, if he, really did release this to try and he started with it by saying that it was to try and make up for it, that you very quickly realized that it was for a selfish reason. But as a fictional character, thank God. It's like, wow. Like, I figured it was probably based off of a fairly real scenario or whatever, but taken out and portrayed differently because, obviously that person did not want their work to be shared. Such a sort of a real experience you had with someone. Yeah, that's wow. That's wild. He's a character representing part of himself, yeah. That's... Oh. That hits different. And the credits was replaced. The name of the experience that he loved the game. Okay. That makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking. Trying to formulate here, but that was crazy. Let me get the music back. Definitely not what I was expecting. I thought this was an entirely different game that I had played, but it was not at all. I have never played that. That was unique. The game that is being analyzed. So as you become the Davy in the story doing yeah. Guess I can go ahead and knock that one off the list. because that means that we have... Let's see, what do we have on the list? Buckshot Roulette and Uplink are the next on the stream games list. For smaller games, why is this here? This game's just not liking being uninstalled. Is that what's going on? There we go. And my own interpretation, it's quite a bit different from Davies. Yeah. One of the real quiet CK experience, the heavy hitting ending, it was definitely heavy hitting ending. Wow. I felt that, you know, that was portrayed well, especially the what do you call it? The distraught panic towards the end, where he just didn't know what he was supposed to do anymore. That was wild. So yeah, I don't know. You well, I don't know, man. The thing is, you let people think the story was real for you, so for really, it was only based off a real story. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes... Yeah. I wonder what that email does. It probably just goes nowhere. It sends them into the void unless it just sends you back a pre-recorded message. Because the end recontextual in early parts works really well. It's going through multiple times too. There's interesting details that are easy to miss, yeah. It's interesting, It is really email. I thought it was like burnout kind of thing. And a character, I guess Davy is his name, he thought it was depression and withdrawal and stuff, but like... Wow. You guys, you're making me emotional. I'll cringe you. I don't know if you were told this is the same guy that did Simon Purple. Yeah, it's everywhere. And Bomb talked about it, and it was on the game's actual page. I gotta say, I don't know where to go from here. Since there's only 20 minutes left to stream, we're probably safe to just probably end early? But I don't know if I want to end early personally, because like it kind of just leaves you... I don't want to yet. But I still don't know what I want to do. I'll probably have on my uncategorized games. Dating sim, dating sim, dating sim, dating sim, dating sim. Had to choose. I shanked you in the Fails game, you really did. I mean, straight up, compared to the games that we have left, we have flipping, buckshot. Oh. And if I go over to my wish list, where the rest of the games are, we have Nier and Lobotomy Core, and Outer Wilds and Elden Ring. Like, I feel like those games get a little less personal. We could play fish game. That's what we might do. Oh, it's not gonna let me, is it? No, okay, let's go. Forgot my game share is all completely screwed up. Love that, not really. What's the point of hitting allow sharing on this device and allow family share if it just doesn't work? Steady. Let me see. Well, that was loud. I just want to tease something, and then I'll probably get off. Oh, of course, it's not gonna like me doing this, is it? It's so scuffed. And then it goes to desktop. What are you doing? Go back to game. Wow, look, there it is. It's there. Kinda. Tale of Two Wastelands is successfully installed. Yay! Not the Fallout tease. We're not even done with Skyrim yet. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Oh, I guess there's a couple other things I could tease and go over. Let me hold it up. I really found the time. It's been a while, Donna. How are you? Well, I'm an emotional wreck right now, and it's all Bob's fault. I cannot believe it. Is my hearing bad, or are you using a voice changer again? Well, the real, yeah. Again. Let me... Is this gonna pull up? Area. And... Well, I make this a source. What is this? I don't know what that is. And source. Image. And new. Hands. Browse for image. You. This one. Punching DonnaCon 2024 exclusive neighbor. Well, get your tickets now. Oh, it did not like me doing that. Get your tickets now. I just want to flash it on and off screen. Yeah. There's one and two. Make guess. He thinks that it want that feeling to be the present. Mr. Monkey's paw. This is true. I got the sniffles. My eyes are tearing up. Aww. Eh. Thank you, Windows. I wish I had prepared more for DonnaCon, because I was planning to do the entire weekend instead of just one day. But Offkai really snuck up on me. I'm already counting out in our eating room, yeah. I think we're gonna have some fun with it. Let me get the music going in. There we go. Sorry, that lot was in my end. We're going to be doing... He discussed what we're going to be doing in that a little more specifically. We're going to be making a VTuber from scratch, and then I will be releasing it publicly in my Google Drive folder with all my other stuff. My tent emoji is already up. And speaking on that note, I'm planning on releasing the original few Donna models. The business suits. And stuff. I don't know if I can yet though, because I need to look at the if I'm allowed to distribute it with the suit, because I did not make that texture. But if I can, then I'll probably put that up on download as well. New VTuber, a new clone, or FlaVR member? Just VTuber in general. I don't think we're going to be going for X-Zone or anything. Wait, maybe we'll do a flavored member? Just for fun? I was gonna, head on here the DonnaCon banner that I was going to be featuring guests, like, who was my guest list of fake people. It was... I know that Mint Phantom was one because she's Mint. Now I was thinking about adding Dr. Lolame the third because he's a fictional character. But then I was like, what if Mint actually sees it? I don't want to be rude and say that she's coming to my imaginary con. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll put Dr. Lolame there, and then I decided to just not do a guest page. Maybe we'll do that next year. I was also thinking about calling it FlavorCon. But at the same time, we're gonna start with DonnaCon this year. We'll probably, just do something completely random. Maybe we'll do a flavor memo, maybe we won't. But I'll be walking you guys through getting Vroid set up, making a character with Vroid, exporting, and then adding accessories in Unity, and then maybe getting blend shapes working, and then into BC face or capture. So from start to end. But I've been having some issues with blend shapes, so all the most distinguished clones will be at DonnaCon. This is true. I don't know why I can't get blend shapes working. I keep getting an error, and the error says that I ticked a box, but if I deliberately untick the box, I still get the error regardless, so I'm not sure what's going on. But because of that, it's been screwing with the Donna Darkstar model I've been working on. So I probably won't have enhanced face tracking, which makes me kind of mad, but at the same time, I almost feel like it's out of my control because it's just not. I have no idea how to get it working, and I have, what is it? V-Bridger. I need to get V-Bridger set up. Because even without blend shapes, that can have generally enhanced tracking, but I have no idea how to use V-Bridger. My brain cannot comprehend V-Bridger. It's like you got plenty on your plate, Margaret. Yeah. And I've already immediately started work on the next episode of Perfection and BTW. If you haven't seen the previous episode, it is out. It is a interesting one. We're starting to get into the lore of the process of the clones being made. The next episode will delve a little more into why the clones are coming out imperfect. Hence the name Imperfection. And then I think the one after that... I guess I shouldn't spoil it. But... I think with that, we can go ahead and wind down. I've regained my footing more. I'm no longer about to cry. I'm gonna go play Destiny. I'm gonna go get angry at Crucible. Break a controller or two. Alright, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. That was an emotional journey. And tomorrow we'll be doing some Skyrim. We're doing the Dragonborn DLC. We're working on killing Marak. And then the day after that, we're going to be doing our final Destiny stream before the DLC. And then and then after that is DonnaCon. And there may not be a Gorilla DonnaCon Part 2 or Part -1. We'll see. I haven't fully decided on that. Kind of depends, because I was supposed to be asleep like 3 hours ago. You know, that's whatever. I'll deal with that when I have to wake up in, like, a few hours to go to EDMV. Have a good one. Have a good night, day, afternoon, whatever you are, whatever you're doing. And remember to put it on your calendars. You know what? Hold on, I'm going to make the waiting room for the re-debut right now, because that's something that's kind of bugging me that I don't have. So that you guys can add that to your notifications. Let me schedule that. Date new, title. Oh, my cancel lock is on. Donna Darkstar debut. Exclamation marks. We will add that. Whatever, entertainment category, sure. Thumbnail, I'll work on that later. Playlists, work on that later. Replay, reactions. Okay, and then I need to set that for the correct time. There we go. Look at stream key. Yes, that's because I'm not trying to stream that I just scheduled, silly. Shareable links. Now I can spam that a couple times. You guys can add that to your waiting rooms list. But for now, I will see you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Matane.